And we are live, folks. Welcome to the Sit Down Standard, the podcast celebrating all the amazing things you can do while sitting, whether it's enjoying movies, watching television, or playing games. I am your humble host, David Bray. I'm joined, as always, by Gerald Bales.
Hi.
And Jordan Peterson.
That's a Mr. Jordan Peterson to you.
It's always good to have you on the podcast.
Back.
Buddy. Back and better than ever.
Back in black.
I know.
Blue.
Blue.
Back in blue.
As always, before the podcast, I want to say that if you don't already know and you're listening to the audio version, we do a video version on YouTube. So just go to YouTube, search Sit Down Standard. Or you can actually check out Periscope. We do a live broadcast of the podcast every week. We do a little Q&A. This week...
Sounded so cool. Broadcast of the podcast.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing. I'm trying to create a little lingo here.
Yeah.
That way it's easy for me to do. I can do this like half asleep.
It's like the opposite of alliteration when you end it with the same thing, right?
I don't know. Rhyming?
Oh,
Dr.
yeah,
Seuss?
that's what that is. Rhyming. Fancy.
Well, we got to start the show with what we do every week. What you doing? What you doing? What you doing? Ba-da-da-da.
Jazz hands.
Got to add something every week. Jordan, what you doing?
What's up, guys?
What's up, man? How are you?
Yeah. Every time you're out for just a week, it just feels like
I know,
forever.
it does feel like a really, really
how the
long
hell are
time.
you,
And that's why I'm like, I can't miss 2 weeks in a row.
You can't do it.
It's just too long. I've done a few things. One we'll talk about a little bit more. I ordered my new Samsung S7, trying to catch up with the times.
Nice. I figured you'd get like
I ordered a phone. This is the first time I've ever pre-ordered a phone, which kind of sucks because I don't have it. But I spent the money to get it.
Did you get the free gear? Is that the thing that they're...
You can... There's a process to get that. I don't even know if I'll bother. It's
definitely get it, dude. I've heard really good things about it.
Slow down. What is this?
Oh, there's free. You get the free virtual reality.
The gear, Samsung gear.
It's like a headset you slide your phone into, and then
it's $100, and it's really, really good.
Yeah.
So what
you
is
should
it
get it just because I want to try it out.
Okay.
I don't have a Samsung.
You have to like.
It's like a rebate thing.
Yeah, you gotta like take a picture of your receipt and send it somewhere, and this thing. I don't know. There's like instructions.
I'm sure it's super easy. You're just lazy.
It's $100 though.
Yeah, but it's something I'll never ever use that.
But is it for gaming? Is it for gaming?
There's a bunch of stuff. It's like cardboard, but their version of it.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I don't know.
So why'd you buy this? Other than the fact that it's not Apple, what was the other reason you finally bought a new phone?
I need a new phone. My phone has just really had it.
What do you have right now?
A Galaxy S4?
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is the Galaxy X7.
A little step up there, buddy.
Yeah,
and they didn't just jump from 4 to 7, did they?
No. They've been incrementally going through. But yeah, it's just my phone. Like I can't even use it half the time. It just screws up. So I finally need a new phone. I refused to get the 6 because they took out the external memory card. So I just had to wait till the 7. I would have got it like a year ago.
They added it back in just for you. They were like, "Oh, that's Jordan Peterson."
Yeah, I said I refuse, and I hope everyone stood up with me and refused to buy the 6 because
it was a big topic.
It's like you're gonna take away the only feature that sets you apart. Okay, well I'll just go to some other company that it made no sense to me at all. And then I had to get off my lawn about this whole cell phone thing,
all right.
Which is, do you guys know? Okay, remember back in the day, new phone came out, and you were like, "Hey, my contract's up. I get this $800 phone for $200.
Yeah, this is what I was going to talk about.
And then, and then you just move on. And now
not anymore, buddy.
World has changed.
Now I have to pay $25 a month for 30 months. That's $800 worth of phone I'm paying right there. I'm not getting any discount at all. I might as well just buy the phone cash right now.
Here's what happened.
You got the discount on the plan.
Well, see, I didn't know this at the time, so I was yelling at the AT&T guys, and I was explaining about how pissed I was about this situation.
That's awesome.
And I was like, "This is total BS. I don't understand why I would stay with your company. If you're going to charge me full price for a phone, I'll just go buy a phone and I'll just go use Sprint or T-Mobile or somebody else." Mm-hmm. And then they were like,
"First of all, they'll tell you everyone else does that." So
Sprint doesn't. Sprint does it.
Oh, they sell to your contract.
Sprint is still the only one.
The old school way, and I almost moved to them, but once I called AT&T, and this guy talked me down off the ledge, and he was like, "How much you paying right now?" I was like, $92, and he's like, "All right, well, the new plan's like $55." He's like, "You pay $25 for the phone. You're at like $80, so you're paying less, and you don't have to put the $200 down." And I was like, all right. So I was like, fine, you win this round, AT&T.
It's actually really cool, too, because I don't know if you're obviously not the kind of person that always needs the new phone.
No.
Obviously, you've been have the same phone for 3 years.
Don't care.
I'm the kind of guy that likes that, so I have the same thing, except I pay a little bit more than like the standard monthly, so I can trade in my phone every year. So I always get the newest iPhone.
You're leasing your phone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what he's doing.
Yeah, normally before that, we would, like my wife had her iPhone, we would just sell it on Craigslist and use that money to buy the new phone, which is now just a hassle. Now I just give it back to AT&T. I don't really need it. I don't care. And I just get the newest phone.
Yeah. I have like a graveyard of phones.
Yeah, I used to.
Yeah, all my I don't trade anything, just like my graveyard of retro gaming. Like I don't trade any electronics in. That's been part of this packing thing that's been an issue.
Yeah, there's
all this crap.
What did you say you were doing? You were taking photos of your crap and then giving it away?
That's what I do.
Just so you have at least the photo.
Yeah, because that's anything that's like a memento to me. I just take a picture of it and throw it away. But I went through I had like bins of wires, like just random wires, because like any wire,
everyone does.
Any wire to me though, I'm like
every guy out there has a bin.
I'm like I can just cut the ends off that. Like I don't even like I know they don't make something for that. I can cut the end. Like that's a good power supply. You never know when you're gonna need 12 volts, 1.5 milliamps. Like, you just don't know.
The worst thing too is the second you throw that away, it's like deleting a contact out of your phone. Like you're like, I'm never gonna talk to this person until the day I die. And then of course the next day it's like, hey, do you have that number of that person? It's like, come on.
The worst thing though is like you can't find what you need ever either. So like I finally found this coaxial barrel that I was looking for desperately when I thought I wasn't going to get the Super Bowl, and I needed to extend my antenna, and I couldn't find it, and I found it at the bottom of this box. But I have gone through, I've really minimized a lot of my stuff.
Good.
Yeah,
Good
even with half my house like packed away, I'm like, I don't need any of that. Because life is still moving on without having my stuff just fine. Like I should probably just burn all those boxes. I don't need them at all.
It is a good time when you move to take stock and like I don't know. I always usually have this feeling. I'm like, where's all my money go? Like I don't have anything. And then you move and you're like, oh, this is it. Like no, you're like, this is all my crap and junk that I buy. But yeah, definitely moving will teach you that.
That's probably the best part about moving. Like everything about moving just sucks.
It's
like
horrible.
packing everything, moving. But like you got to go through all your old crap. When we moved to Vegas, we just like all of our old dishes we just threw out, just bought.
Yeah,
we're
doing that too.
Well, see, the mistake we made when we moved, we had a place in between, and we ended up getting storage, and we put everything in storage. But then we moved here, and then we garage saled all that stuff, and the money that we spent storing it, we could have bought everything what we ended up doing anyway. So don't store anything; just get rid of it or sell it or.
I have to store the stuff though, because it's like my couches and my bed. And
that's what we did. That was our stuff.
Burn it. They're nice things. I'm not selling that.
No, the couch you just
I
got.
spent like thousands of dollars on all the new mattress. Is like 8 months old. I just spent $2,000 on that. Not doing that.
Just light it on fire.
But one of the things, I'll bring it back to the Whatcha Doing of packing and stuff. I was doing some listening to music. I never listen to music anymore.
Like just actively listening to music, not passively, like in the car. Like actively just listening.
No. I'm packing.
Okay.
No, I'm packing stuff up, or I've got the girls, and I play some music on my phone. But I was listening to Cake, Motorcade of Generosity. What is that?
Yeah, Motorcade of Generosity. Yeah.
Long jacket.
Yeah.
Not that CD, but yes.
They're all the same.
But yeah, Satan is my motor. It reminded me of the concert we went to when we were younger.
Yeah, we went to this one concert with Cake, and it was here in Vegas, and there's a city, every city has, big city has like a smaller city next to, like Chicago has Aurora, which is like the suburb. It's kind of a Chicago, but it's this other city. It's like, Anaheim has something next to it, I'm sure.
Well, that's just Orange County. It's all just
that's what I'm saying.
Big city, but yeah.
Well, here we have a city called Henderson, so we went to this concert, and the lead singer's like, all right, I need a chant from you guys. This is what we're gonna do. This is Las Vegas. What's a neighboring city? And we were like, Henderson. He's like, all right, everyone says F Henderson. It just got us all like, we're ready to go burn down Henderson for this lead singer of Cake.
Yeah, I'm sure that makes a big difference on cities where there's like rivalries and stuff. But it's like Vegas and Henderson. Does that really exist?
No, there's no rivalry at all. If anything, we dislike ourselves more than we dislike Henderson.
Your newer construction houses. Boo!
Right. But yeah, just it was really cool to listen to some of those olds, because I've listened to this. Do you guys listen to new music at all?
Yeah, all the time.
I try to. David does a lot more.
I listen to like
over here.
The same 8 to 10 CDs that I've been listening to for the last like 2 decades.
Wait, you listen to CDs?
Albums. They're on my phone.
Oh, I'm just gonna say, I just stream all the music.
No, I don't stream them. I have them all recorded and I just put them on my phone. I don't know. I like to pick what I'm going to do, and I don't take the time to make playlists. I just listen to the album that I had before that I ripped at some point because I owned it. And but it was a lot of fun to just kind of, you think about where you were at when you saw that. That was my first concert that I went and saw that for me. Like, I think my parents dragged me to some concerts, but that was like the first one that I loved. That's and cool. Of course, my wife's like, "What is it with these lyrics?" It's like the first day you're born is when you start dying, and Satan is my motor, and then it's different stuff.
They're great lyrics.
It really is. It's all either about cars or women, which is like great subject. So that's pretty much what I've been doing. Gerald, what you doing?
A couple things worked a lot this week, as I think we all do.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Had a doctor's visit this week. Blood pressure. Woo! Did you guys know when you guys are overweight, you are prone to high blood pressure?
What?
Crazy, right?
That's
So,
insane.
internet, for all you high overweight people, go get your blood pressure checked. Now I gotta take medication.
Yeah.
Was it like a point where like you pricked yourself and blood just shot out the wall?
Too much pressure.
You're like, wow. I'm like, I know an easy way to relieve blood pressure. Just bleach yourself.
Exactly. Just like, gonna let out all this pressure. There we go.
It's called bloodletting. It used to be a real solution. And
Now there's pills for some science. I don't know.
yeah, it screws up your liver.
Yeah. So anyway, did that. Watched some shows. Played some games. This is your weekly Halo 5 update.
Yeah.
Played some Halo 5. A new
Nice.
update came out this week called Hammer Storm. Yes, Hammer Storm. They brought back the Gravity Hammer.
Nice.
Remember Gravity
Yes,
Hammer?
yes,
I
yes.
didn't know it was gone.
Of course you don't.
I remember it very
I
clearly.
lent you my Halo 5 disc and you never play.
I played during the
That
2
one-
weeks.
that first time,
Yeah, during the 2 week trial.
Because you don't have live anymore, right? No. Jerk.
I always know there's new Halo
I'll be
stuff coming
returning
out
all that stuff
because
shortly.
yeah, I always know there's new Halo stuff because I get many text messages from Gerald. Hey, Halo, 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 Halo.
And no one ever plays with me. I gotta play with
Aw.
Tyler and
Oh, yeah?
Chris, yeah.
That's good. That's good.
Anyway, so they added a hammer, and with that they added Griftball, which I don't know if you guys remember
Yeah.
Griftball from Halo 3.
Is that Harry Potter?
No.
That's
Jordan.
Quidditch.
Did you play, because you played Halo 3, right? Oh,
Yes.
Yeah. Do you remember Griftball? Where you go get the ball, everyone has either gravity hammers or swords.
Oh,
You gotta
that
get
like
the ball to
room
the
where
other
you run
side.
across. Yeah.
So they brought that back. Super fun. And they announced they're going to bring back Firefight later this year.
And that's basically multiple co-op versus the AI enemy.
Yeah, it's PvE, which a lot of people like versus PvP stuff.
Horde
because- Yeah,
kind
pretty
of
much. I think it's
You played
5.
Horde
Firefight.
mode where like it gets harder and harder each wave, and then you're trying to survive with the other players.
Right.
But
Yeah.
a lot of people don't like playing against other players because sometimes they're just
too
really good. And exactly. So
Or I'm really bad.
that too. But PvE is a good change of pace. I know I liked Firefight when it came out. That was ODST, right?
Why-
We
why-
played a lot of Firefight.
Why do they take stuff away?
It's not that it takes stuff away. It's just it wasn't in the game in the first place. And then just they're doing a lot of stuff for the community. And what's great, all of these updates they're coming out with are all free because they're making their money back from rec packs and all that kind of stuff. So it's cool you don't have to buy map packs or anything anymore.
I think it has a lot more to do with I think they trimmed down this specific game, Halo 5, because they didn't want the same thing that happened with the Master Chief Collection. They had to make sure that that it was going to work online, because I mean that was such a debacle. I mean,
yeah, a lot of people are thinking that this is why these huge updates are listening. They're actually listening to the community, bringing back Firefight and these core modes because they did so bad with Master Chief Collection.
yeah, I mean they nearly destroyed their franchise.
Yeah.
I mean they were so bad. I mean even like 4, 5, 6 months afterwards, it still was not fixed. It's like,
Yeah.
come on, man.
Multiplayer still broken.
Like if I went into work and I hadn't done any work for 6 months, like I wouldn't be around anymore. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, Jordan, you have a debate about you've been working hard.
No, I get off my lawn. Like everyone's so horrible at their jobs all the time, and I don't understand how the world functions like day to day basis with everyone being so bad at their jobs. There's like a handful of people that keep everything's working.
Just those one or two people at every company.
That's what I don't know
right?
how it works, but it's just like I couldn't screw up that much. My boss would be like on my ass, and it seems like nobody else has bosses that care.
Well, they did. I mean, in this case, they actually did. They end up giving. I know they were going to give ODST the.
Yeah, the campaign ODST is free.
So yeah, they
if
gave.
you
I mean,
bought it.
that's stuff they could have definitely made money on, because I mean, not just from the the Halo fanboys, but like people would have bought that because it was a good campaign. It was one of the few like good story
Yeah,
campaigns
ODST
that's
was
not so
excellent,
up its own butt. I mean, not to be mean about Halo, but some of the Halo stuff, the Didac and the
Halo 4
the
is
silent
ridiculous.
cartographer, and it's just like, okay, all right, it's just
Trying to build a world, man.
I know.
The mythos.
I know.
Anyway, watch some TV. Yeah, I think we
Yes.
actually were going to talk about this, but Fuller House came out a couple days ago.
Do-do-do-ba-ba-da.
Yeah, sung by Carly Rae Jepsen.
It's
now.
actually awesome. Okay, they kept the same theme song. They didn't. I mean, someone else is singing it.
You
It's
don't
got-
have to tell me.
Oh, you watched it?
I watched
Oh,
it.
we can all talk about it. This is like never
I
happened.
know.
Due to my wife, I watched
So
Fuller House,
the first episode.
first and second.
I only watched the first episode.
Sarah binge watched the whole thing last night. I watched a few of the episodes.
My wife was going to, and I got mad at her because I'm like, you don't have to watch it all right now. Like, watch it one this week. 2 episodes, I'm done. Like, let's do something else.
Well, first of all, let me. The reviews on this show, if you go on Metacritic or anything, are really bad.
Yeah,
Like,
they are.
really bad. And after watching the first couple episodes with the wife, and then, like I said, she binge watched the rest. It's not that bad. I just think they're comparing it with today's comedy
Right.
and writing and all that kind of stuff. And it's corny and it's cheesy, and every episode wraps up by the end. There's no overlying arc, but I think it's hilarious. And that's how it was
Really?
back then. Yeah, the jokes. Okay, they make a couple
That
of jokes.
surprises
about,
me.
like, no, I think it's.
I
funny.
would think you'd be the first to crap all over it.
Well, no, because it's like it was back then. It wasn't a good show back then. It is
Right.
cheesy and all that kind of stuff.
No, I know, but I only watched the first episode, and then I watched maybe like the first 5 or 6 minutes because my wife was watching the second episode, and the first episode is like, hey, the nostalgia stick, they poke the hell out of it.
Just the scene in the kitchen. Oh my god.
Yeah.
When they make a callback, they're like, they're in New York with their rich company, and they all look at the camera for like a good 15 seconds.
That was great.
Oh my god, hilarious.
But like I said, they focus on nostalgia in that first episode, and then they stop. You know, I watched the first like 5-10 minutes. It's not like constantly like cutting to the old footage and comparing it to this, and that's fine. I mean, they have to do that to be like, yeah, it's still Full House. But I think it's out of place. It's if it was on CBS or if it was on NBC, it would feel more at home. Whereas Netflix has not to say Netflix has like an expectation, but they don't. Netflix doesn't have a show like Fuller House.
Sitcom kind of like
right,
that,
a light sitcom, laugh track. It's just not.
But I don't think anybody has that these days.
Big Bang Theory is one of the most popular TV shows in the country,
and that show is terrible.
Yeah, but it's the same. It's the same thing. Two Broke Girls. It's the same.
Oh
thing.
my God, Two Broke Girls is horrible. Have you guys watched that?
Sarah used to like that show.
Oh my God, I was at my in-laws and it was on, and I was like, "This is the worst acting, the worst writing." Like there was a horse in a girl's bedroom. Like I was like, "What is going on? This is so stupid." Like who cares?
It's just it's low hanging fruit on, and that's what I saw on there. But the thing I was like, the first thing I was, oh my God, this is cute. It's very cool that they're bringing it all back. But part of me was like, okay, you gotta rein it in. The nostalgia's it's heavy handed. It feels like you're trying too hard. But I saw some of the second episode and it looks good. But I love the fact that they brought everybody back. Like, and first of all, Stamos, that dude, they showed the footage. He is the same person.
He looks great.
And they even make a comment on the show.
Yeah, John Stamos was like, they're all sitting on the table. Like, can I just say how good we all look?
They all do look.
They do.
Like, everyone
even
looks
Bob
Saget looked a little rough.
Yeah, but even Saget. I mean, this show's almost 30 years old. I mean, like, it's not a couple years ago.
I don't know. I was a little uncomfortable. There was the one chick. What's her name? Is that Stephanie?
Oh yeah, Stephanie is.
She was wearing that dress.
Looking good these days.
Yeah, she's
was just like.
I know.
It is weird. And then they even got the two little twins, which they could be anybody. You know what I mean? But they actually went and got the two boy twins that were Rebecca and Uncle Joey's.
I'm sure that was the only thing they ever did.
I know.
And so it's like, of course they're like, oh, you want to make some more money doing what you barely did? And like, yeah, I do.
But yeah, it just feels, for me, I think it's gonna, people have already binge watched it and it's gotten bad reviews, but it is fun to watch, to see how much comedy. It is a time capsule, right? Like you see like, wow, we do not do comedy like this anymore, where it's, the shots are not like people walking in front of the camera during that breakfast scene.
Mm-hmm.
Like that is not how you do it anymore. Like where people literally walk in front of the camera and it's weird. It feels so out of place.
It's just, okay, and about the Netflix thing, like, I'm going to disagree with you a little bit. Netflix makes shows for niche audiences. And that's why I actually read a report the other day on why they don't release ratings for their shows. Because they don't like ratings to dictate how a show continues. So if people don't like a certain season of House of Cards, right, then it's going to dictate how the next season is. They don't want to do that.
They don't even release it to the creators? That seems, I don't know if
I don't know, but the ratings publicly aren't released. So no one knows how good or bad a show does. But they create shows for niche audiences. So Fuller House is a show for people who liked Full House. And that's it. It's not for everybody to be like, oh, what's this Full House I've never heard of?
It's for kids who grew up in the 90s. I mean, it's like just a lot of the things actually that are out there now are marketed to like our audience.
Which is so awesome. I used to watch all these movies, like, they make references to like the 80s and late 70s, and like now it's us. It's
right.
Yes. Yes.
Right, because we're in the demo of people with money.
Yeah, disposable income.
Right, exactly. So everything is kind of marketed, and that's what this 90, it's clearly just like retro. Like my wife loves it. And you know what? As much as I like wanted to be like, I'm too cool to enjoy this, like I enjoyed it, and I was catching myself laughing and stuff. And it was funny.
It was corny and cheesy, and like I said, it's everything wrapped up by the end of the episode.
There is some definite awkwardness in the show though, because there's a part where DJ's boyfriend in the show went to prom with her or whatever, right? He's like, we should have been together. Like, what do you like? What? Like, you can't. It's just the conversations. They feel completely scripted. You know what I mean? Like they don't feel. But
I think that guy's supposed to be awkward.
I think so too.
Because they're not boyfriend girl. I mean, they used to be, but they're not together at this point. Because in the second episode, they go through it a little bit more.
The canon.
So I mean, I thought it was though, like the line where she's just like, well, my husband died doing
Oh,
what he
God.
loved doing as a
So-
firefighter.
It's called
in a
exposition,
fire.
man.
I know, but it was like I was
Way
like-
too heavy-handed.
Yeah, exactly.
He's a firefighter, and I'm a veterinarian. I'm like,
She's standing there with this
Right.
crazy dress, her boobs hanging out, and all talking about her dead husband. You're just like,
yeah.
yeah, it's just super, super heavy-handed.
And how did no like they missed an opportunity for a funny joke about like put some clothes on. Like Bob Saget should have been like, what are you wearing? Like this is the party's not downtown, it's in the living room downstairs.
Yeah.
Put some clothes on. What are you trying to meet? Like no one's here.
But it's
your
good to-
uncle. Like what's up?
But it is cool to check in, and like these characters that are obviously fictitious characters is like seeing like I can't remember his name, but the one uncle that has the woodchuck.
Joey.
That's Joey.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought.
no, I thought it's Uncle. Is that Uncle Joy?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Okay, not the Elvis one. I forget what their names are.
Stamos.
Yeah, but that's not his name on the show. I thought that was Uncle Joey. Anyways,
No.
Anyways, he's like in Las Vegas and he's like kicking Carrot Top's butt. Like, there's some stuff that is so cheesy.
Which I think that guy does do shows here.
No, he doesn't.
There's
think
no
he-
way.
I don't know. I think he does.
Really, he gets the puppet out.
No, I don't think he does the puppet, but I bet you he does some stand up.
I like the Rocky and Bullwinkle thing he did at the beginning. Like, no one knows what Rocky and Bullwinkle
No
is.
one knows. If you're from the 90s, you do.
That's true. I never
Yeah.
thought about that.
Yeah, it's. I enjoy the show because it is definitely a callback. I hope that it gets this, because Girl Meets World, which is obviously has Topanga and Corey in it, has a lot of success on Disney. But they're not. They trickle that in, and I hope they do
And
that
they
here.
change it for modern times, right? Yeah.
I just hope this show does that. And it
Yeah.
seems like it. Like I watched a clip and like she's got the baby, like the cell phone got stuck in the baby's
Yeah,
diaper,
yeah,
and she's
yeah.
like holding the diaper. I mean, there's funny. It seems like there's some funny stuff.
Yeah.
They've got money behind
It's
it.
very lighthearted. It just sucks to see all the reviewers and stuff, and they're grading on like modern comedy and all this stuff. It's like, no, it's a show like
It'll
like
still
it
be
was back
popular.
then.
The
Yeah.
nostalgia of it will probably rocket it to at least
Oh, I'm
probably
sure.
a second season. I would
And
think.
maybe this is the occasion when I think the model that Netflix uses where they release the whole season at once is a good use of that model. Because, like, while the excitement's there, let everybody just consume it all.
all at once.
Because if you spread it out, like, people would trickle off. Like,
course,
you
for
know what I
sure.
mean? If you
Yeah.
had it every week and it was at all
with any show,
competing
though.
with any other popular show, it just wouldn't do well. But since people can watch it whenever they want, they can binge watch it all at once. I know my wife's probably watching it right now because she was watching it this morning, and she knows I make fun of her for binge watching stuff. So it's like I left to go like pick up breakfast. I came home and then like TV was getting turned off right away, and I was just like,
like
"Were you-
porn.
It's like, were you watching Fuller House? It's like,
It's not what it
no.
looks like. It's not what it looks like. That's cool. Anything else?
Yeah, another show that's on Netflix. This premiered a few weeks ago. It's called Love. It's produced by Judd Apatow. Stars Gillian, or is it Jillian or Gillian Jacobs?
I think it's Jillian Jacobs.
Jillian Jacobs and
Paul Rust.
which also writes on the show. But it's a really funny show. I kind of label it as a hipster comedy because there's a bunch of like hipster. They all live in LA and stuff. But it's really good. I really like the writing of the show. There definitely is some Judd Apatow comedy in the show, but I don't think it's too heavy-handed. This is more like a what's that movie he did? Like This Is 40, where it's like a dramedy kind of stuff. I really like it. I think we're midway through the season, you think? Because you watched the whole thing, right?
I already watched the whole thing. Speaking of binge watching, I watched all 10 episodes. It's okay. So it's basically, like you said, takes part in LA. There's a one character who's the guy. He is at the beginning. He's kind of in a relationship, and there's this other girl who's kind of like a train wreck. To be perfectly honest, like think of. What was that recent movie with it's called Trainwreck? God,
Yeah.
I was like, what's the name of the movie? I already said it. Yeah, so she's she's drug addict, well, not drug addict, but she's got a lot of vices in her life, and he's kind of like the dorky. He's
socially awkward too.
socially awkward, but he is a tutor of the stars for children actors on a TV show. So like he is the epitome of a dork. Like,
Yeah.
But it's very funny. It's
He's so awkward. It's just freaking hilarious.
Yeah,
I love the jokes and stuff in the show.
yeah, and so of course those two work to come together in the show, and it actually does a lot of things. It's the same problem. Like this is 40, right? Everyone thinks like there's this happy picture of like this is how life is supposed to be, and it's like no, that's not how it works. Like
Yeah,
at
there's a
all.
lot of times where like you think you know how the show's gonna go, and it's just no, it doesn't work out by the episode end.
Yeah.
This Is 40 was depressing though. I didn't
No, it
enjoy
is.
that one.
No,
I didn't think it was that
But like
funny.
I said, it's a
and
dramedy. It's not supposed to be all balls to the wall comedy like.
No, I
Step
understand,
Brothers and
but
stuff.
there's a difference between just not being funny and actually making me sad. Like, I'm okay with the not being laughing. I just don't want to be like brought to a dark place during a movie I'm trying to watch.
It balances that. It doesn't get too dark. I love Jillian Jacobs. She's from Community, and she kind of honestly plays a lot of the same
Kind of,
characters.
yeah.
She's kind of like I said, train wreck, but like really sweet girl, but she just can't get it together. And he's kind of like the guy who seems like he has it all together and has everything going the right way. And then, of course, his world falls apart, and then the two meet. But they have a lot of, we talked about this, they have a ton of like cameos. Like, I mean, it's the normal Judd Apatow people in his movies.
Was like star, maybe not star, but it had, walk-on roles and stuff in his other movies or in the show as well. It's kind of cool.
Yeah, like Will Sasso from Mad TV's on it as a waiter, and like there's just a bunch of little cameos where it's just like, oh, that's cool. Like it's fun to watch it, but it's a great comedy. They're 30 minutes long, or no, they're about 45 minutes long. It's just nice to not have constantly an hour. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Sometimes
I want to watch House of Cards, but I can't watch like more than 1 or 2 episodes.
Right. It's kind of nice to just take it. I think it's like 5 hours total. So it's somewhere between 30 and 45 minutes an episode. It's just nice because I enjoy, like we talked about with Community, I sometimes like, that's what I like to decompress to. It's just something real quick and...
Bad television.
But it's actually good television.
Yeah, this is really good.
So I would recommend it for sure.
Uncle Jesse.
There you go.
That's
good. Jesse. That's what it's not Joey.
Just came to me. No, Joey's the chipmunk guy. Jesse is Stamos.
Okay.
Gotcha. Thank you for clearing that up.
No problem.
I think that's all I have. I do have a Get Off My Lawn.
Let's do it. Go
all
for
right.
it.
On the way here.
Yes.
Get off my lawn.
Okay.
People
so,
learn
literally,
to use the
somebody's on my lawn. Get off my lawn.
So twice on my way here on the freeway, people don't know what the brights are for on their car. Do you know what your brights are? Or on your car?
Bright lights.
Bright lights. Your bright.
Do I know what they're for?
Yeah.
They're for seeing in the dark.
Yeah, right. When there's no other cars around you, right?
Yes.
Yeah. People don't know that. People just drive with their brights on. It's so annoying because obviously you can't see when they're behind you in your rearview mirror.
You can flick your rearview mirror to do that thing.
Yeah,
I
I
shouldn't have to do that.
Turn
off your brights.
That deflects it out of your eyes. Are you sure your car's just not a little
low?
too small?
Yeah, that's right.
No, it's not everybody.
I know, but it's just these big trucks. Their regular lights are like right in your mirror because your car's a little low profile. It's not exactly a monster truck. So
exactly.
Maybe you just had a couple trucks all the way here.
No, this was just it was an older lady.
Oh,
okay.
I'll give you
that. Driving, it was like a Corolla or something. But like, turn on your internet. Turn on your car when you leave. If you see a blue light on your dash, your brights are on.
Yeah, mess
turn
with
them
stuff
off
until it goes off.
Yeah, turn it on. Normally it's a little flick on the left. At least it is for me. Sometimes there's a switch. But turn off your brights. The only time you need brights is when you're driving on a dark road and there's no cars around you. And to flash people when they have their brights on.
Not to defend the annoying, but my blinker is the same thing as my lights, and when I push it,
sometimes
it turns the brights on, and when I go up and down, that's how I do my blinker. And I have gone home and been like, oh crap, I've had my brights on this whole time.
Yeah, just pay attention.
I'm just saying.
I'll give you that because obviously it doesn't happen all the time, but people drive with their brights on all the time. Like one time I got my wife's car and I'm like, babe, your brights are on. And she's like, oh, I didn't even know. It's like this. Right. She could have been driving like that for weeks. Who knows?
It's a good point.
Just really annoying.
No, yeah. People,
come on, people,
knock it off.
Yeah, knock it off, people. David,
get off our lawn.
I think that's it on my What You Doing. David, what you doing?
Okay, so I watched Fuller House. I watched Love, so we already got through all that. Yep. I finished a game. I finished Firewatch, which I talked a little bit about last episode, which Jordan wouldn't know about because he doesn't listen to episodes he's not on. Such a narcissistic jerk.
He's like the opposite of me. He only likes to listen to his voice.
No, Firewatch is a game. It's a first-person game. It's story-driven. And
walking simulator.
Stop saying it's a walking simulator. You piss me off when you call it that, man.
Hiking simulator.
It's not. It's a game that it's very story-driven, but
find a coin on the ground.
What do you mean?
It's a walking simulator. Find a coin. You're like, oh,
trip.
Oh, heads. My lucky day.
No, but you're a fire watcher, and the story is great in it. I would say the ending. I don't know if it's how I played it because I played it kind of broken up. I would recommend you play this maybe in 2 sittings because it's probably about
3.5,
4 hours. And I played it too many broken. Like I played it 15 minutes, 20 minutes, an hour, 20 minutes, and because of that, I think the story lost its like punch, and the ending was just kind of like, oh, because I think I picked up right at the end. So like the climactic of
building up to that
moment. Building up to that was it's like in the middle of Lord of the Rings. You just like paused it right in the big battle, and then you like went away for 3 weeks, and then came back and were like, okay, let's watch.
The horses showed up. Oh, okay.
Yeah, exactly. It just didn't have the same feel, but it's a great game. It's beautiful. I like the ending. It's different than I like that there's games now that are so different. Like I don't know if that game would exist, but for the current time, like
because of that, and I'm going to defend my use of walking simulator.
Okay,
that's not a negative thing. I'm not saying anything negative about being.
We all like to walk.
But when I say a walking simulator, and I think internets agree with me, is it's very story driven. There's no life. You don't die. You can't die. You can't lose the game. It's just it's a movie game almost. You're walking through this story game and you're living the story.
It's an interactive
But you're
narrative.
walking a lot.
No, but it's an interactive narrative.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, would you rather call it like a book game? I don't know.
You can't lose, though?
No, there's no life in the game. You can't die.
There's no time.
You don't fight people. It's just, it's a story.
That doesn't sound like a game at all.
It's barely a game. But like I said, that's not negative. I mean, that's fine. I mean, I like those, like, Gone Home. I love that game. Because you're looking at things and you're discovering a story. It's almost like reading a book, but an interactive version of reading a book. It's just...
You do have to solve certain puzzles. There are some puzzles. They're very minor puzzles. But
So,
there
like,
is
the only
puzzle.
way to lose is just, like...
Give up.
You can't
playing.
lose.
Yeah.
Yeah, you turn off the game. Yeah.
Or not figure out a puzzle. Which, actually, one thing it took me forever to figure out, but that's probably because I'm dumb.
Let's not talk about that.
So, yeah, that was one thing that I did. Like I said,
Worth was it $20?
Yeah, $20. Definitely worth it.
Worth it.
I mean, if you like that kind of, like, I like narrative. I like something that's different. It's a palate cleanser. You know what I mean? Like, it's also that because, like, we play a lot of the same games. Like, Halo, Tomb Raider.
You don't play enough Halo.
I don't play enough Halo, but, nonetheless. Okay, the big thing I did this week that I am super excited to talk about is I found out a little while ago that Las Vegas got its first board game cafe.
Oh, that was the first one?
That's the first one. First and only. Well, I'm probably being mean, but they claim they're the first and only. So when we went up to LA recently, there was a board game cafe, and so in Glendale, I believe. So me and my wife drove out to Glendale to go see it, and it was fantastic. It was really cool, very, not to be mean, hipsterish. It's like a coffee shop,
yeah.
But they have a ton of cool games. They have old games. They have all this stuff. Anyways, they opened one here, and I wasn't expecting it to. I expect I've been to like board game stores here in Vegas, and they're nice, but they're not like very welcoming. Is kind of the way, especially if
beards playing Battlestar Galactica in the corner,
right? And it's I mean, for the people that it is great, but it's definitely not welcoming to like a person who's not a board gamer. There's definitely like, whoa, you know what I mean, like that. Like I'm a fish out of water.
Yeah, you almost need a group that you're consistently going with and meeting at certain times for that.
This place is called Meepleville Café. It breaks all of those preconceived notions of what a board game cafe, not just what it should be or what it could be, but just what you're thinking in your head of what a board game cafe is. This place is way nicer. It has a storefront, so you can buy games there. So they do that. They have, right now they're going to be building a cafe because it just opened up, I believe, in January. So it's brand new, but they've got a ton of games to play. It's super clean, very modern looking. There's tons of table space. It's nice and big. They have the games categorized by like old school games, and they have like games from like the 50s and 60s and 70s. They have some really cool, they have a Pac-Man game, like this giant Pac-Man where you actually move Pac-Man along and hit down these little beads that go down, and then you actually pull these two things and all the beads come back up. Like it's some
cool.
games that I've never ever seen.
I even thought to have played.
Yeah, we went there, and the second we walk in, the owner meets us, really nice guy, shows us around. It's $5 to go in, and then you can stay as long as you want and play as many games as you want. And they put my collection to like shame. Like it's like
of course they do. They're running a game. They're running
should.
a shop.
No, but at the same time,
your collection is massive.
No, but at the same time, they don't have to. You know what I mean? And I was like, okay, let's see. Let me test. There's some games that just came out like 2 weeks ago. You got it? Yeah. I'm like,
well, they're a store. I would assume they would have these new games.
Yeah, but they don't have to. I mean, like they have they probably have. I don't know how much but they had probably a 15-foot wall of just games from like 15 feet high, just games, everything.
Were you just like, I want this someday?
Do they have like multiple copies so
Yes.
like you don't have to wait to play it?
Yes.
I'm sure like maybe heavy games, they must have like one copy. They were not going to have like 3 copies of Game of Thrones. But
Right.
No, but like the most popular games,
Yeah,
they have
of
multiple
course.
copies of, like Ticket to Ride and stuff like that. But they even have like an area where if you're doing like a tabletop game where it's kind of more, you need to be a little bit more intimate. They have a room where they have a door closed where you could just kind of play that. Or if you're playing something really, you know what I mean. Or if you're being really loud and you want to be really rowdy, they have a room for that. The design of like I said, the layout of it is great. They're going to be building a cafe. They're going to knock down a wall and actually build a proper cafe. Right now they have like food, drinks. But if you're in the Vegas area for whatever reason and you need to get your board game fix, like I did in LA when I drove out to Glendale, which is like an hour drive.
Yeah, I was going to say, Glendale's not really close to LA.
If you're anywhere in the Vegas region, check them out. It's Meepleville Cafe. So
where's it at?
It's on Sahara and Decatur. So it's actually kind of in the middle of town, which is kind of cool. It's not on the strip, but it's far enough. It's close enough to the strip that it's not like a...
It's in the middle of town as long as you don't consider the east side part of town.
Not really. The freeway's technically usually the middle of town in most cities. That's where you separate the east from the west, right? That's what
I'm saying, but it's Sahara and Decatur's.
It's actually pretty close to the freeway. Anyways, we're giving some like Las Vegas directional. Let's give some.
Really
you want to do some traffic here on the 10s and 20s?
Downtown is the middle of town.
But yeah, definitely check that out. That's what I was doing. Of course, we played 4 different brand new games. The people that worked there were very happy to tell us how to play it. They were excited. We ended up playing a game with somebody because we tried to break out a game. I'm being an idiot. Me and my wife went, and I'm like playing this game. He's like, that's for 3-player minimum, and I'm like, oh. And he's like, I'll play with you.
Amateur over
and he's
here.
like, I'll play with you guys. And he sat down and started playing with us. So it's like stuff like that where it's very helpful staff. They know how all the games, or at least all the games that we played, they knew. We were there they close at 1, so they're open late, which is super cool because I got off at work at like 8 and we went. Fantastic. Cannot recommend it enough.
Do you know if they're going to open a bar?
That was my next question. Alcohol.
Because drinking and board games is like perfect things that go together.
I would think they
could cause
the
problems.
problem is
the licensing.
Yeah, it's the licensing that's like terribly expensive. But I don't know. We were talking to him. We were like, like just as a general question, we were asking the owner, like, how do you like deal with like pieces going missing? And he's like, I really don't ever see it. It's not a real problem so far. He's like, the people that are the specific people who are problems are like people who bring their kids 8 and under. That's where I see a lot of the problems. Like pieces get broken or thrown, or and. Again, I think board gamers appreciate it.
Those are probably only certain games that are going to be played by that group anyway, so you just know. That
you just give them checkers and just be done with it. You're not going to have people like us who are like throwing Battlestar Galactica pieces across the room or anything crazy
unless
like
you're really angry.
Yeah, flip the table.
Why did you have to be the president? You're such a jerk.
That's Jordan.
Yeah, but I mean, just give the kids the game that's missing a piece already. Like, they're not going to know.
Game Connect 4 or something.
Right.
But they had all that. They had all the classics. They had it separated 2-player games. They had it, and then like we were playing, and someone's like, "Oh, do you like that game? You guys should check out this game." And I was like, "Yeah, I know."
So they know what they're talking about.
Yeah.
So then, were there other people there? Was it
there's
like
a ton
busy?
of not like super busy, but busy.
Yeah.
They have like membership passes. So you can pay like $30 for a monthly pass, and you can come as much as you want. So if you come, 6 times a week or 6 times a month, then it pays for itself. And they give you discounts on games. They give you like 20% off on all your purchases, and then they have like tournaments and stuff like that like a normal board game store would do. So it's super cool. Like I said, the one thing that is a big deal for me is like how nice it is, because it didn't. I'm not trying to be mean, but like us board gamers, we'll board game anywhere. You know what I mean? Like,
you don't need to make it so fancy.
A table and some chairs.
That's all you need. But this place definitely ups the ante. It looks fantastic. So cannot recommend it enough. Again, it's called Meepleville Café. Check it out. Sahara Indicator in Las Vegas. But now that we got through What You Doing, you guys had something you wanted to talk about. Well, Gerald is the details guy, so we'll rely on him. Something happened very important in the world of nerd.
Not nerd. Well, everyone has cell phones.
Everyone has a phone.
But no one knows. I'm not even this level of. You guys are black belt further.
You're not
than
familiar
me.
with this worldwide conference that happens in Barcelona?
No,
yeah.
Barcelona.
Come on, bro.